This is Elena J. Ingle from Formspring, and I'm going to make a video response to Everything Amelia's current top name video. And I apologize if you've heard me talk about my top names over and over again, but maybe if you don't know why I have some of them as my top names, this video will explain that. So I'm going to start with boy names, and my current top #1 boy combo is Theron Clint. Theron is a Greek name that means hunter. And that is a good thing for us because Rodney loves hunting, but to me Theron is a much classier choice than Hunter as a name. Also, my parents' names are Teresa and Jason, and so if you take T-H-E-R from Teresa and the O-N from Jason, you get Theron, so I could honor both of my parents. Plus, my favorite girl's name for a long time was Erin, but we already have an alenajingle in our family, so I thought Theron would be a good alternative for that. If Rodney were to pick the first name, it would probably be Jasper, and I do like the name Jasper a lot, but I like other names more. And also, if we use Jasper, then we won't have any of my family names, and we have like 3 of his family names picked out, so I don't think that's a very good idea. However, one of the main reasons why I do love Jasper is that there's a verse in Revelation in the Bible. I'm going to read to you, and it's really short, but I just thought it was really cool. And at the end of Revelation, it's talking about heaven and stuff, and I found this verse in here. It's Revelation 21:11, and it's like giving a description of heaven, and it said, her light, as in heaven's light, was like a most precious stone, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. And I just thought that was such a beautiful, poetic verse. Yeah, gorgeous. So I would like to use Jasper, but I still prefer Theron. Clint is after our close friend Clint, who was killed in a car accident 2 summers ago, and we had just spent the weekend with him. It was very sad. Anyway, his full name is Clinton, but Theron Clinton does not sound good, and Theron Clint flows much better. We don't want to use Clint or Clinton as a first name because we have a lot of friends who will probably want to name their kids after Clint too, and I know a couple of them want to use Clinton as a first name, so we're going to use it as a middle name. I also like Barnabas Clinton or Remington Clint, but yeah, Theron Clint is our top combo. #2 combo is Simon Jude. Simon has been one of my favorite names for a long time. It's just so handsome and sweet, and I love that it's biblical, and it means listener, which is a great meaning. And I don't know, it's just adorable. What do you guys think of Simon? Jude is another name I've loved forever, and I especially love it as a middle name. It's also a biblical name. It's a book in the Bible as well. And I just think Simon Jude sounds amazing together. However, I have heard family members mention they might want to use Jude. And in fact, one of them that mentioned they might want to use Jude as a middle name just announced to me and Ronnie that they're pregnant, expecting. So we have an alternative middle name for Simon, and that is Barnabas, which I mentioned in my last video. Barnabas means son of encouragement, another great meaning, and I just think Simon Barnabas is a very strong, handsome name. Our third boy combo is Hugh Logan. Hugh means soul in German, and it's just a very classy British strong name. It reminds me of Hugh Laurie and Hugh Grant, and there are several Hugh actors like Hugh Jackman and stuff. And Logan was a name I never really cared for much because it was just so popular and kind of trendy, but last summer I worked at a daycare, and there's this little boy there who I just absolutely fell in love with. I wish he was my son so bad. And his name is Logan, and I think Logan is totally usable as a middle name. I've never met anybody with Logan as a middle name. So Hugh Logan is our #3 combo. And on to girl names. The girls' names are more complicated because #1 I have several alternatives in there, and #2 I have twice as many girl names as boy names, and #3 Rodney's not really okay with all of them, so some of them might not be usable for us. But my #1 is of course Brenna Ruth, which it has been since I first came to Formspring. Brenna is a name that means raven in Irish. I just think it's so pretty and soft and sweet, and I have the raven hair, and so I thought it'd be cool if we had a daughter with raven hair. We can call her Brenna. Question. I've thought about using B-R-E, pronounced Bree, as a nickname for Brenna. Do you guys think that's too big of a stretch? Let me know in the comments. And Ruth is Rodney's grandma's name. Ruth means friend or companion in Hebrew. and it's a biblical name, and it's been one of my favorite names for ever since I was a very little girl. I would use it as a first name, but he prefers it as a middle name since it's his grandma's name. If Ruth were to be used by one of his brothers, which is kind of likely, or just somebody in his family, we would use June as a middle name instead, which is just a precious name. It sounds so adorable with Brenna June. And if we were to use Brenna June instead of Brenna Ruth, that would become our number 3 combo. Because the Ruth middle name is the main reason why Rodney wants to use it as the first name that we use after his grandma. Sorry if this isn't making sense. Okay, our number 2 combo is Keturah Temperance. Keturah is a really rare, beautiful biblical name that means incense. Yeah, I just think it's so cute and just beautiful and has such a unique sound to it. I found it after reading it in the book in high school, and then I found out it was biblical, and I'm like, I have to use this name. If we were to use a nickname, which I don't plan on doing it, but we would use Kit, even though it's spelled K-E-T, I would use Kit because that's a family name for me. Temperance I had never thought of as a name until I heard it on a show, Bones, which is one of my favorite shows. And temperance is just a wonderful virtue for anybody to have, and I love how it sounds with Keturah. If Violet becomes too popular for me to use, and when I say too popular I mean within the top 100, then we would switch that combo to Keturah Violet, because I want to use Violet so bad. It has been my favorite name ever since 8th grade. But if it's too popular, I don't want to use it as a first name. So it's either going to be Keturah Temperance or Keturah Violet. Our number 3 combo is Violet Clara. Violet is, of course, a color and a flower. And as I mentioned, it's been my number 1 favorite girl's name since 8th grade, a long time ago. I think in 8th grade, when I was in 8th grade, it was like in the 600s or 700s, maybe even 800s, so it was not popular at all then. I cannot believe how popular it's gotten. I adore Letty as a nickname for Violet. I don't care for Vi, I just don't like the sound of it. But Clara means clear, and I just think it's gorgeous. I really would like to use a 2-syllable name ending in A. So other combos I've considered for Violet are Violet Emma and Violet Marta, Violet Willa. But as I mentioned, if Violet becomes too popular, we probably won't use it. Our number 4 combination is Hope Lenora. Hope is just a wonderful virtue, and I thought it was popular as a first name, but then I looked it up and it's not. It's in the 200s, and I have good associations with the name Hope. One of them I'll mention quick is that, sorry if this is kind of a rambly story, but there was a girl 3 years behind me named Hope, and she had an older sister in my grade, and this older sister was like a nasty, icky person. And this kid came up to me and he goes, "Oh, you must be Hope Baker's older sister." And I knew who Hope Baker's older sister was, and I was like, no, because that girl was really gross. Well, then I got to meet Hope, and she number one, didn't look anything like her older sister. She looked closer to me, but she was just a beautiful, sweet, funny girl, and so she's just like a really good association with that name for me. And Lenora would be after Rodney's grandma, Nora Lee. And I didn't want to use just Nora as a middle name because I have a family member that's told me she might want to use that. But I just think Hope Lenora flows beautifully, and yeah, I just love how it sounds. So those are our 4 set combinations in order. And the next 2 are ones I haven't convinced Rodney of, but I want to mention them anyway because I have them in my list. So our number 5 combination is Saoirse Fern. Saoirse is an Irish name that means freedom, and it is also the name of my all-time favorite actress, Saoirse Ronan, who made me really love the name, plus I just think it's gorgeous. And Fern would be after Rodney's grandpa, Vern. I don't like how Vern sounds, but I think Fern, is adorable, and I think it makes an awesome middle name. And Saoirse Fern just looks really awesome written down too. Trust me, I've written it like 100,000 times. And the very last combination that I have picked out is Georgiana Persis. Georgiana is just one of my all-time favorite names. I adore the nickname Georgie for it. I love Georgie for a girl. I have no idea why. It is so not my style typically, but I just think Georgie's adorable. It's gorgeous. I have good associations with it. I think it's just perfect, but I can't convince Rodney of it. He doesn't like the George sound for girls. But Persis is the name I discovered after reading the Anne of Green Gables books, and I found out it's in the Bible. I did a video on the name Persis, and it has a really great verse that Persis is mentioned in the Bible, and I just think Georgiana Persis flows really well.